pole shot. Have a look at Gibbs trying to go around the outside.
He is on a mission right now. Oh, look at this, beat. Escape the carnage.
A battle of survival here in this first moto, and he has come out on top. In what is shaping up to be a battle for the ages, we find ourselves at the penultimate round of the Penrite Oils ProMX Championship presented by AMX Superstores, and our first ever visit to MX Farm, situated some 170 kilometres north of Brisbane, just outside of the historical gold mining town of Gympie. Hello everyone, I'm Lee Hogan alongside former Supercross superstar Danny Ham. Danny, welcome. We must say a quick hello, and we miss you already. Our co-host, Kate Peck, she has Bubs number 2 on the way, and we will not see her for the last couple of rounds.
No, and already it definitely feels different without Kate here, but she'll be at home watching, and we wish her all the best.
Okay, now winding the clock back to Toowoomba, the last round of ProMX. Let's take a look at, in the MX2 class, a mammoth 54-point lead for Brodie Connolly, and he was firing on all cylinders at the last round.
He's in a class of his own, isn't he? He really has stepped it up this year. Besides the bad round of Maitland, of course, where he went down, he has always battled it for the win. There is the chance he may wrap this championship up here today. So keep that in mind, but I know there's a lot of MX2 guys that are nipping at his heels, really want to get a win off him.
Now in this ultra-competitive MX3 class that everyone's talking about, Jake Cannon just keeps making up points each round, and of course he got the win at the last round, 7 points behind in the championship points chase.
And it could have been a lot closer. That small mistake that we saw out of Jake, putting himself on the ground, took him out of the win for that Moto number 2. He has been chipping away at those points all year long, but it's these little mistakes that we see creep into it that has held him back from having that red plate already. The rate he's going though, if he can continue it on, he's been the quickest in qualifying. There is a big chance that he will come away with a win this year. However, we've got one more guy that has an answer to that as well.
That's right, and the current red plate holder in the MX3 class, Kobe Hantis, he hasn't got too many wins, but man, has he been consistent.
He's been bleeding the points all year. We've said that many, many a time. However, Toowoomba, he absolutely turned it around. He is ready to bring the fight all the way to the very last checkered flag. So he has not given up yet. Cannon isn't in the bag yet. This battle between them two is absolutely epic.
We had a chance to take a closer look at this MX Farm track. Let's take a look.
This week's Michelin track preview here at MX Farm in Queensland presents us with quite a different track. But of course, we're always going to start right here at the start line, and we go back to a traditional start. It's a dirt start, so these riders are going to have to rely on that experience from years back to make sure that they get those ruts prepared so they get the best launch out of the gate before they head on up this straight, click it up into 4th gear and dive into a very open first turn. Now, traditionally, we would see our riders dive to the inside gates. They are normally the gates you would want to choose after your qualifying session, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot more starts coming from the outside. It's a track here that allows you to sweep in to that first turn before they dive down into the tighter turns, turn 2, 3, and 4, where it will settle down the riders and get them into position to launch through their first laps of the race. One of the most unique parts of MX Farm is just how diverse and varied the track is. From a soil perspective, we've got everything from beautiful chocolate cake type topsoil, we've got some deep sand, and we've got plenty of red clay, everything you could want to hope for on a track. From a layout perspective, we've got very fast and flowing sections, and just before the finish line, it gets super tight and technical. And from an elevation point of view, we've got some big uphills and downhills, but where I'm standing right here is our biggest elevation, our one main uphill that features some big jumps, and none of them bigger than right here, a triple step up. I just stepped it out before, 30 meters from the top of the takeoff to about halfway down the landing ramp. This is certainly gonna set the riders up for some potential passing moves before they make their way out to the remainder of the track. An absolute amazing track that we have got here at MX Farm. As we close out the lap here at MX Farm, you can just see all the changing conditions. We sit here in a gully, the track has its ups and downs all the way around. There is a lot of man-made jumps, a lot of man-made berms, hard-packed surfaces, wide open corners, and then we get down to this part here, which is quite sandy. It's a very different soil that these riders have to do, not to mention this is completely off camber, and we start to get into the very tight back end of this track where you will see a lot more passes, a lot more aggression before they get to the finish line and collect that all-important position at the end of the race. And of course, that there is this week's Michelin track preview.
All right, let's take a look at the Pirelli MX2 lineup. Moto1, Brodie Connolly, Campbell Williams, Ryder Kingsford, Reese Budd, Caden Minier, Noah Ferguson you were just talking about, Alex Larwood, another one of the Team Honda riders, Jack Mather, Jace Cosford and Caleb Barham.
Great to see Mather up there also. He's been a little bit lackluster this year, so to find some form here is great. Cookers, Yokoyama, Olander, Flynn and James Scott, the New Zealander, also here, just in front of a couple more New Zealanders, Ryan and Curtis King, Fitzpatrick, Grainer Daish and Keane are your top 20.
The list of riders goes on. Victorian rider Jacob Sweet, Mitch Norris, Mackenzie O'Brien, and of course, Charlie Cannon. Fantastic to have her in there battling amongst the boys. She chooses the MX2 class and not the MX3. I think that's a wise choice.
Emma Mlisnik, another girl rider out there who has got herself there in 27th place, battling it out with the rest of the boys. So great to see them out there, and it really does lift their level of racing a lot by the time they go back out for their women's category, which we will see, of course, at the next round at QMP just next weekend, Lee. Well, our answers are only moments away as the board is now up. 15 seconds until the gate drops. The 5-second board will come up. It'll be a full 5 seconds before that gate drops. It can drop anytime after that. And our riders are starting to feel the pressure 10 times as the revs now come up. We're about to get Moto number 1 underway for the Pirelli MX2 class.
Like, is that Jace Cosford in the middle? I could spot that yellow gear, but up the inside, Campbell Williams put that paddle tyre to good use, and he has come out with the whole shot.
Great start there. The other end of what we saw there is Brodie Connolly. He's in about 6. Oh, it's a traffic jam to the inside there of turn number 2.
Was that Connolly that just jumped up into like literally 3rd or 4th place?
Yes. It's incredible watching Connolly on the opening laps and just how quick he makes a pass to the left-hand side of the screen. Left-hand side of track, right-hand side of the screen. There he is, the 88 machine championship leader. Again, another pass, quickly made.
Have a look at who's in behind him. Jace Cosford there after that epic battle that they had at the last round at Toowoomba. Could we see another battle? Can they come through the pack together here? But what a start from Campbell Williams.
Great to see this start, and he has Jack Hookus right behind him there on the 75 as we look at the WP Whole Shot Award, of course, going to the 28 machine of Campbell Williams. We all called it pretty accurately for the start there. This will give us a good indication right now, Lee. This particular part of the track, it's not going to be too bad for that tyre. It's across the top of the hill where it's really going to be struggling for traction. So go down into the Michelin left, quite a sandy part of the track. Connolly still sits around 3rd. Cosford, Mather is up there as well in 5th place as we see them funneling down to the outside, a big dive.
Not a great start from Alex Larwood, who we're used to seeing up near that pointy end of the field. He's back in 11th place, likewise for Reese Budd. He's in 12th.
And Barham, the winner at Toowoomba, is in 14th. So terrible start for him as well, as we see the battle here between Kingsford. Is that Olander? I think it is. Travis Olander on the 275. It's Minier there as well, as we see our race leader complete their first lap.
And have a look, it is already Brodie Connolly up into 2nd place. Slipped a little sideways there coming onto the main straight.
Oh, no.
Number 41.
Curtis King. So this will be a good indication here. We have those 2 tyres that we looked at, Lee, on the start line. The lead rider, the tyres will work okay through here. It would be the top part of the track where we should see Connolly coming into his own. There is the 7 trying to get around the 75 of Cookus, of course. Jace Cosford, who had a great round at Toowoomba with 3rd place overall. Looking to do the same again here today with a great start. Here's the traction.
Here it is. That's where it just gets so difficult, but not many tyres are going to have traction on that concrete right there. And it's just so interesting how it all funnels into one line up that takeoff ramp to the big triple.
around the long left here. Oh, our race lead is getting pretty close. Nice wide shot here shows exactly the top 4 and the gaps between them. Cosford has not been able to close down that gap anymore as they go through the Dunlop right. Cooker still holding down 3rd place. All the back end stepping out there for Williams.
Yeah, a little bit of a step out there, but no problem for the Yamaha rider. He'll be starting to feel this pressure coming from behind. Now, let's explain a little bit further to our viewers at home. Our 2nd place rider, Brodie Connolly, currently has himself a 54-point lead in the championship. Now, he potentially, mathematically, can win the championship in this moto at the moment. And we need to keep tabs on our provisional points. As we see at the moment, it's 291 to Brodie Connolly, and Kingsford, there we see the pass is just about to be made, but Campbell Williams hanging on by the skin of his teeth. Now, we need a 75-point gap back to 2nd place for Brodie Connolly to wrap up this championship in this first moto.
And for him to do that, I think we worked it out last night that he would have to win, and then Kingsford would have to be in 21st place or around that area. And right now, that's not looking like that's going to happen. Kingsford sits here in 7th. Oh, mistake, was it?
Yes, unfortunately, a mistake from Campbell Williams. He just needs to relax now. Take a big, deep breath. There's always that extra pressure that you feel when you're at the head of the pack, especially when you've got Brodie Connolly behind you. Now, you know you were 2nd fastest in qualifying. The only rider that was faster than you in qualifying is ahead of you. Do what you can to try to latch on, because Connolly's going to try to run and hide now. See if you can pick up a couple of lines and try to gap these riders back in 3rd and 4th.
Here's the mistake. So the 28 machine in the lead. Watch him go into this corner to the inside. Oh, he was off the bike completely.
Superman.
Wow.
Both legs off the back.
That was a hook in the right lead that just caught him off guard. He did very well to stay on the bike. Well, he wasn't on it, but to stay in that position and continue on. And these riders, we've said it many times before, being first out on the track, they are essentially learning this track as they race. As we see Minier to the inside, nice run through the rut, but there is a big sweeping line around the outside there that keeps a lot of momentum. Switches it up now, Minier to the inside here. Almost pulls up beside Kingsford. Important battle on the track right now in the story of this championship between these two. Again, Allstars doing an exceptional job sitting there in front of these championship position riders. Oh, almost knacked off the side of the bike as they go through the Maxis left there. He's a big boy on that bike too, is Allstars on the 275.
I think that early race speed that we saw from Campbell Williams and the ability to be able to almost latch on to the back of Brodie Connolly when he came past, I think that was one of the big keys to what we're seeing here.
Just had a yellow flag going out into the corner. I saw Larwood to the inside here, dove it down hard last time, still not quite close enough. Just getting back to the yellow flag. I didn't know if that was maybe one of the top riders. Actually, could have been this rider there about to pass. I think he may be a lap down. So maybe not a concern, that particular rider. Allstars just dropping at the screen there, still managing to hold down that position in front of Minier. Look just behind them too, as we see Kingsford under pressure from Bud. They're about to drop into screen, there they are. So Bud to the outside here, will try and make a swing around. It looks like he's got to the inside, and the pass will be made. So another couple of points for Kingsford lost in this championship. It is tightened down to only 4 points, 5 points between those 3 riders battling it out for 2nd, 3rd, 4th in the championship. Some more valuable points. There is Kingsford under a lot of fire. Only 3 points to the difference now between 2nd, 3rd, 4th in the championship. And one of those riders is the rider that is behind him at the moment in Ferguson. Move back to our race leader, past the mechanics area.
So last board lap has come out for Brodie Connolly. 1 lap to go for the Polyfloor Honda rider to take victory here in the first of the Pirelli MX2 Moto1. What a race it's been so far. He didn't have the whole shot, he had to work for it. And then near the mid stages, he did come under a little bit of fire from a very hard charging Campbell Williams, but at the moment it is looking like business as usual for the Honda rider.
beautiful form coming down into the AMX. Right-hander and up the hill for the final time. Looking over to the right to see where everyone is. Looks extremely comfortable on the bike. He has looked so good all year long. And it's that early race pace that I think that we see out of him, Lee. He did not get the greatest start, but he makes them passes so fast on that opening lap that sets him up well for the rest of the race.
And over the last couple of years, he looks so strong whenever we see hard pack track. And now this is one of the hardest pack tracks that I've seen at ProMX for quite a while. So he's got to be enjoying this track, don't you think?
No doubt, as we see roll through those whoops down into the left-hander, past the yellow flag here. He'll keep those eyes up, looking to see exactly where those riders are that could potentially be down in front of him. Takes his time through that inside rut there and moves his way towards this split section of the track before making a couple more turns, Lee, and he will be reading that checkered flag for the Moto #1 victory.
What a ride it has been. A very smart and calculated ride for the number 88 bike of Brodie Connolly out of New Zealand. Checkered flag waves and first win in the bag for the day for Brodie Connolly. He'll be happy with that. Maximum points in Moto1, and what a ride from Campbell Williams in second as we see Kukas come through. Jack Mather, a lot of riders impressing here in this first MX2 Moto. Let's take a look at the results. MX2 Moto #1, thanks to Pirelli. Brodie Connolly with the win on board the Polyfloor HRC Honda. Campbell Williams, what a ride on the Yamaha in second place. Jack Kukas in third, Jack Mather in fourth, and Jace Cosford rounding out the top 5.
Mini crossing sixth, Bud Larwood, Yokoyama, and a good ride also by Olander. Unfortunate, went back to 10th on those last couple of laps, but held 5th there or 6th for quite a long time.
Kingsford in 11th, Noah Ferguson from Caleb Barham, Mackenzie O'Brien, Wilson Grainer-Dash, Riley Fitzpatrick, Brock Flynn, Ryan King, Jacob Sweet, and Mitch Norris.
Let's head down to KM with our winner.
Polyfloor Honda Australia rider, Brodie Connolly, mate. Fantastic ride, stacking points. Only 7 between you and that championship now.
7. I have to get 7 points. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Go out, win that first moto. You know, it takes off a bit of a pressure for the last, and yeah, got off to an average start, but made some good passes, and yeah, just ride a comfortable race, try not to do anything silly, and yeah, just a massive shout out to the team as always. Cheers.
Obviously, the nerves now a little bit kicking in, or are you finding that calm zone? Been here, done this before?
No, while I'm on the bike, it's fine, but man, yesterday, yeah, so you're thinking about a championship, so probably the most nervous I've been riding a motorbike, but you know, once the gate drops, it's fine, so yeah, looking forward to the last one.
Fantastic, gents, best of luck.
Well, he's got a cool head on his shoulders, and I bet you he was thinking about it yesterday. He's going to be thinking about it between motos. I'm sure he's going to be fine. Let's take a look at the Pirelli Championship points. MX2, Brodie Connolly has 294 points to his name, ahead of Ryder Kingsford, still in second place, just on 225, and likewise for Caden Minier, 225.
And only 3 points back to Ferguson, so that is well and truly not sorted out just yet.
Don't go anywhere. When we come back, Moto2 of the Maxxis MX3.
Welcome back to the Penrite ProMX Motocross Championship, brought to you by AMX Superstores. We have our riders out on track looking to see their sight lap before they get underway. We have also witnessed today some of the stars of the future, the 65 KTM Group Futures Cup, and Lee Hogan got a chance to talk to Cole Blunden about all of this. A fantastic addition to the championship this year has been the KTM Group 65cc Futures. Now I'm standing here with the motorsport manager of the KTM Group, Cole Blunden. This has been so good. We're already 1 round in. We had it at Maitland. This is round 2 here. How has it come about and how's it played out so far for you?
It's brilliant, you know, this incentive, the MX65 Futures, has been great. It's so good to incorporate the kids into the elite level of motocross racing in Australia, and to give them that exposure on the national circuit is really something that hasn't been done before. So, you know, to introduce them here, and you know, we're obviously at MX Farm now, it's an unreal circuit, is really going to be a great experience.
Now, round one winner, Lewis J. Carafa, a good family friend of mine. He's a young superstar, represented us in the World Championships recently and just come back from injury. We're really starting to bring out some big names in this particular 65cc futures. It's a fantastic thing.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Look, this is ultimately the stepping stone for the kids to step up into the big leagues, and, you know, to start them here and be able to then transition into the 85 class and so on. You know, you can't really get a better stepping stone than that.
And right behind me here is Jet Allsop's 250, his factory machine, the number 42. I know Jet has been an integral part of this whole program coming together, and the kids just look up to him. It's so good to have Jet on board.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's a great KTM ambassador, and he's been with the brand for such a long time. And, you know, it is ultimately the stepping stones to what is the factory race team. You know, we're definitely trying to give the kids that trajectory and put those pieces in place for them to be ultimately achieve their goals.
And of course, behind us, we've got some very cool looking trophies that the crew have put together. So imagine being a young lad on these 65s and getting to earn themselves one of these they can take home, pop in their bedroom, maybe take to school for show and tell or something. It's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I mean, you know, you guys would have seen in all the promo stuff, the man cave that Jet Allsop's got at home and all his trophies and things like that. Those are lifelong memories, and, you know, that will stay with somebody for their entire career. So it is really, really cool.
All right, Kyle, thanks for having a quick chat with us, and let's watch for the KTM 65 futures out there giving it their best.
What an opportunity it was for these young tackers to get out there and race on this circuit. Of course, it was a great battle between Blake Bohannon and Sydney Stevenson, who actually tied on the day. But of course, it was Bohannon who won the last moto and came away with the victory overall, and also to be presented that from Chucky himself. That'd be pretty cool as a kid, no doubt.
Yeah, that'd be a buzz for these kids, for sure, to have Chucky come up there, Daniel Sanders himself. Let's take a look at the Honda highlights for Moto1 of the Maxxis tyres MX3 class. And it was all guns blazing heading into that first turn. The number 20, Cade Kingsford, came out with the whole shot early, but Jake Cannon was putting on a charge.
Cannon was moving forward fast. He did not get the greatest of starts into turn number one, however, snuck around the inside and put himself into a position where he was able to challenge it out pretty early on and move through. Here was our championship leader prior to this race, the 94 machine of Hantis. He would have a terrible start and continue to move forwards, but not quite far enough. There was action of plenty on the track and a lot of moments for a lot of different riders.
One of our mid-pack riders going down in the middle part of the corner, but that was the pass that was set up and executed by Jake Cannon as he found a very innovative line up the inside there where no wheels had been so far. But the number 20, Cade Kingsford, he didn't lay down his arms. He kept going, he kept charging, and he kept Jake Cannon honest right the way to the latter stage of the race. But Kai Woods coming together there with the number 254 of Jack Devison. And almost a little bit of a moment there for Cannon.
So towards the end of the race, it appeared Cannon may have tightened up just a little bit. A couple of mistakes started to creep into it, and that allowed Kingsford within striking distance on the very last lap. Had it been another lap, Kingsford might have had the chance.
Now watch for this up the inside, showing a front wheel. Almost went for it. And that was with only about 20 metres to go. And the checkered flag came out. Maximum points for Jake Cannon, and he now finds himself tied in the championship lead with Kobe Hantis. What are we going to see from Moto2?
Good start from the centre of the field there. Pace, I think it might have been one of those riders that got himself off to a great jump. There is a red bike there, though, I think, Lee.
All right, let's try to pick up who they are. Is that Deacon Pace with that white helmet? Is that Jake Cannon around the outside, the number 3 machine? Very easy to spot even from the distance of the drone.
One rider down in turn number 2, but it is all heating up the front. Pace with the start. There is Hantis also in 3rd place, right now behind his main nemesis in this championship. So we have the potential to have a major battle right here. Hantis is going to need to want this Championship and battle it out in this race as we see Cannon down the inside on a very slippery corner.
You're already trying to make a pass, and he's found the Nathan Crawford line. Is it going to be enough to come up the inside? Didn't quite set it up enough. The WP hole shot going to Deacon Pace. Now, he's had a few of these hole shot awards this year.
Pace very quick today, second fastest in qualifying. Oh, look at the aggression from Cannon. He wants to get to the lead straight away, and he has done so. A very important move right now as he finds himself in the lead. Hanters, it's on him now. He needs to make this pass instantly and run with Cannon up the front.
Well, talk about pouncing in the early stages for Jake Cannon. He doesn't seem to me as if he's thinking the safety of the championship. He's just thinking about, I want to win, let's go.
As the rest of the riders funnel through the Penrite right-hander, we move back a little bit. There was Kingsford, there is Wood behind Stroh over the finish line, and you can see already just how much drier it looks, Lee, on screen. Obviously, we didn't get too much rain come down, thankfully, at the moment.
Yeah, it just looked like a little bit of a passing shower there. The number 621 of Deacon Pace just falling off the back end of these two ever so slightly. But this is an impressive ride from Kobe Hantis. Let's not forget, both riders are tied on points for the championship as it sits at the moment. Who will carry that red background going into the final round in just 1 week's time? Seth's having a great race here. He's come from 10th, 11th place, made his way up to 8th, but he's been very, very close behind Kai Woods for a few laps now. So a slightly stronger race here. I know he's suffering from the flu at the moment and felt like he wanted to lay down and pass out after the first moto. So I'm relatively surprised to see him quite up as far in the pack as what he is at the moment.
It's amazing how deep you can dig when it really comes to it. They scrub up the hill, trying to keep as much forward momentum going, not too much height. Into that very long left hand. It's almost like they just slide into the outside line there without much of an option to try and hold the inside. Here's that inside he used earlier, not quite close enough.
It almost looks to me, Danny, that that part of the track didn't get any of the rain that we saw before, where it looked like it was absolutely pouring. Ooh. Almost a knife of the front, almost down for Kai Woods.
But has still managed to pull himself up alongside the 24 machine. Squares it back to the inside here, but a good run out of the corner by Morrow. Holds down that 5th place.
Trying to rail around the outside, doing everything he can, but Seth Morrow holds on to that position.
The question I asked before was at 2 seconds, at what point is it too far? Well, it's now bounced the other way. He is well and truly close enough for the pressure to be applied to our race leader in Cannon. He is close enough to mount a challenge over the next few laps if he can continue this kind of pace as they move down through the AMX left-hander here. Hantis is looking good, and I am absolutely rapt to see this, that he is wanting to bring this fight all the way down, and he's not just rolling over, because that could have been easily done at 2.8 seconds only a lap or two ago.
And we're not in the very latter stages of the race. We've still got 6 minutes plus a lap. In the big scheme of things, an absolute eternity in this race.
Oh, there's the
mistake.
That is the pressure mistakes that we've seen so many times out of Cannon. So, can Hantis take advantage of this? Will we see more mistakes? Generally, we've seen once one mistake has happened with Cannon, there has been a string of them over the next lap or two, but then he's been able to find his form again. Will it be the same here, or will Cannon bounce back?
Well, this is where Kobe Hantis needs to respond. He needs to keep that pressure on. He can't afford to back off at all. He needs to just throw that front fender in, let Jake Cannon see that blue fender up the inside, try to put a little bit more pressure on, but he's doing everything he can at the moment.
Oh, I didn't like that outside line. That lost him a lot of time. That pressure has been removed now from the race leader. That is what Cannon needed to get back into the groove. Launching up the hill, staying very low is Birchall. On the limiter there, trying to spook, trying to psych out Deacon Pace in front of him. You can hear it still. Through the air, just there to the inside, not quite close enough here. Pace has a good line. Birchall right there, though. He's been quick to the outside here.
Trying to set a rail around the outside and reaches for this outside berm around Honda, but no, decides to come down. Those inside ruts are a much better choice. That's about as close to tagging bars as you can possibly get, but what a beautiful pass.
Well, he tucked the elbows in on that one. They were going to come together as Pace tried to close down that line, and somehow the two riders managed to avoid themselves. Last lap lead.
Okay, last lap board has come out, and that gap has stretched just a little bit. What can we see from Kobe Hantis in this last lap? Can Jake Cannon remain mistake-free for just this one lap until the checkered flag comes out? So much to play out here in just one lap.
To the KTM Group right-hander, Cannon clear of the first of our lappers. There's another one in front of him through the Thor left. But I feel at the moment, Lee, he has too much of a gap for Hantis to really mount a challenge. Hantis needs to follow this inside line here.
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing at the moment, is that they've got their lines. There's a couple of corners where they have different lines, but they know exactly where they're going. They're not going to take any random risks at the moment and go somewhere unless they're forced to because of a lapped rider. At the moment, it looks like they've got a little bit of clear track, but they just come across a lot of lap riders.
Into the Dunlop ride for the final time. MX3 Moto number 2. Across these jumps into that long left. I just feel there's too much of a gap at the moment for Cannon. 1.2 seconds still holding and controlling this race is Cannon.
It's going to take a mistake from Jake Cannon here as he tips it into the Michelin left-hander. As they come out of this next right-hander, you'll notice they've got completely different lines here. They're on the same part of the track, but Cannon, as he comes up and over this single jump, is he going to be able to take his line? He goes high over that bump. Hantis stays a little bit lower and it throws him into the berm. That was the last of the real tricky, tough corners, and now we've just got two slippery ones here for the checkered flag to come out. And what a race win, checkered flag for Jake Cannon, taking the win here. The second moto of the Maxxis Tyres MX3, and he did it under immense pressure from Kobe Hantis. And can I just say, massive tip of the cap to Kobe Hantis for taking the fight to Cannon all the way to the checkered flag.
As to is this battle to the checkered flag between Birchall and Pace. One more turn. It's going to be Birchall on the 27 and Pace for third and fourth. We'll take a look at the results of that MX3 Moto number 2. Of course, it was Cannon that led us across the finish line. Kobe Hantis, Seth Birchall, Deacon Pace, Kai Woods holds on for 5th. Kate Kingsford, Kobe Drew, Seth Shackleton, Seth Morrow moves back to 9th, but a great ride, and Devison in 10th.
Jackson Fuller there in 11th. Phoenix Van Duschoten there in 12th. Cooper Phillips. We've got Max Compton and Peter Wolf.
Lindsay is back there with one of his better performances in 17th. Strode, after a crash early on, is also up there in 20th place.
Great job from all of our Maxxis MX3 riders as the list of names goes on right the way through to final place. What a battle we saw there. That was worth turning up today just for the battle between Jake Cannon and Kobe Hantis. We've been waiting for the battle between those two. They've been clawing at each other for the overall points lead in this MX3 class, and to come up trumps, that is a fantastic job. Can't speak highly enough for Kobe Hantis and his battle there, but it was all about Jake Cannon. Speaking of Jake Cannon, Cam is with him.
Down here we've got Kate Kingsford in 3rd place overall today, mate. Tough one in the first one. You had to kind of battle through the second one, huh?
Yeah, had a good first moto, got off to a good start, made a couple of mistakes, but forward to the end. Second moto, I don't know what happened. I just got the worst start I could and had to battle through the pack and didn't expect to be up here still, but you know, I'm a hard charger. I expected more and I'm still not happy with 3rd. We're going for the win, but I mean, on a bad day with that kind of start, I can't complain about 3rd.
All right, you'll take 3rd for the WBO team, huh?
Yeah, thank you.
Going to sneak over here and get on in over here with the number 94 of Kobe Hantis. Kobe, you came in today with the red plate, mate. Looks like you may be just a few points, only 3 points behind this one. This is not over till it's over, is it?
Nah, that last race was sick. Jake's riding awesome, so are all the other boys. I just can't thank the WR team enough. That wouldn't be possible without them, my dad, and everyone else in my corner, Ford Dale, Scott McKenzie, and just everyone else, and the MX Farm crew for putting on a mad track.
Fantastic. Kobe Hannes, we're going to sneak in here now to Jake Cannon. 2 from 2. Jake Cannon, you take the red plate into the last round and QMP next week. There's a bit of a smile on your face. You're pretty happy with that one, huh?
Yeah, I mean, coming from not even doing the first Wonthaggi, first round, to being points leader, it's pretty cool, but I'm going to keep my head down still. It's not over, so, yeah.
In terms of your season, mate, that trip to America seems like it's really reinvigorated you, hasn't it? Really given you a bit more wind in the sails?
Oh, yeah, it definitely showed me what I have to do, and I've got to improve a lot if I want to go back over there again. So, yeah, I'm just happy.
He's a happy man, gentlemen, and I have to say that he's going to look really, really good red plate on this number 3 moving forward to the last round next weekend.
Let's take a look at the Maxxis Tyres Championship points in the MX3 class. Jake Cannon sits on top with 289 now from Kobe Hantis with 286. Kobe drew there in 3rd place in the championship back to Cade Kingsford. Deacon Pace, Seth Birchall, Seth Shackleton there in 7th place in the first junior rider. Kai Woods back there in 8th from Jet Allsop and Jack Devison. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, Pirelli MX2 Moto2. Welcome back to the Penrite Oils ProMX Championship presented by AMX Superstores. It is sight lap time for our Pirelli MX2 riders, trying to scope out a line or two, maybe pick out where they can make a passing opportunity. Danny, we could be possibly just about to crown a champion.
MX2 Moto number 2 lineup. Brodie Connolly, of course, was the quickest earlier on. Campbell Williams, riding Kingsford, Reese Budd, who has found some form here today, as to Minia. Noah Ferguson was on the charge at the end of the race. Alex Larwood, Jack Mather returning to form. Cosford, Barham were your top 10.
Jack Kukas there, 11th. Haruki Yokoyama, great to see him back. Travis Olander, Brock Flynn, James Scott, the list goes on. Ryan King and Curtis King there, 16th and 17th for the King brothers.
Kukas had a great Moto number 1, sat there in 3rd for quite a long time. Can he get himself out to another good jump from this start? The MX2 boys on the line, starting to get tense. The revs come up. We are moments away from finding out if we have a new champion. The gate's down. Who's going to get to the first turn first? Connolly with a good one.
In the middle, he got squeezed out a little bit. There's Cosford there in blue gear this time.
It's probably one of the best positions that you'd want to be in moving into this race, as he sits there in 4th place.
And that looks to be Haruki Yokoyama sneaking up that far inside. There he is, so great start from him as he slots in just behind our championship points leader, Brodie Connolly.
Oh!
Big crush for Cosford. That just stepped out to the side.
That was huge.
It looks to be
absolutely
okay.
Slapped on the ground, as it is Brock Flynn of the number 60 machine that leads the way. I saw Mitchell Norris with a good start as well. The WP Whole Shot Award, of course, Brock Flynn, and that is why he sits where he does at the moment. We've seen so many good starts out of this rider this year, Lee.
Yeah, the young Western Australian rider. He had a bit of a mishap, I believe. Was it Gilman? He broke his collarbone in the 2nd moto after such a fantastic 1st moto. And to see him back now with another whole shot, this kid knows how to start.
Reese Budd putting the pressure on right now. Switches to the outside line. Connolly sits back there. Connolly is taking his time right now. Generally, we see how intense he is, although this is a good run out of that corner to the inside. Will follow Flynn through. Not quite close enough to make the pass.
But he doesn't want to take any unnecessary risks here, does he, in this early stage? Follows Reese Budd. I don't think I've seen many people go that far around the outside in that particular line. But have a look at the pressure that Budd is putting on Flynn at the moment.
Oh, and the mistake by Budd. Steps over the top of the rut, allows Connolly to move through into 2nd place. I feel, Lee, that we are only moments away from seeing Connolly move himself into the lead and start to stretch that lead out. But a good start for Brock Flynn, still holds him there in the lead.
Now, for someone such as Brodie Connolly in this position at the moment, where he's still really quite intense in a battle, this part of the race is going to be more enjoyable, I believe, for him than once he gets into the lead and he's riding all by himself. Let's look at the step out to the side here. We watch.
Already happened.
Yeah, that was a big high side there and a slap to the ground. But Danny, I was just about to make mention that at the moment where we see Brodie Connolly in second place, this race will be a lot more enjoyable for him because he's in a battle. The moment he gets into the lead and checks out and has himself a little bit of a gap, you start to think about the championship. You start to wonder, am I just hearing a sound on my bike? Is something not quite right? So at the moment, he's not even really thinking about that too much.
Good ride here for the 118 of Mitch Norris there. Mitchell Norris back there in 5th place at the moment, and just in front of him is Haruki Yokoyama. So the Honda rider trying to close down that gap to Reese Budd as Flynn still controls the lead at the moment. But look to the inside here from Connolly. If he gets himself a good drive, and whoa, you can't get much of a better drive than that. Puts himself into the lead. Flynn tries to go down the inside again, but Connolly closes down the door.
Almost stalls the bike there, but manages to keep it going. Now that part of the track, that Honda left-hander and in through that next section, that seems to me as if it's the part of the track that Brodie Connolly seems to like the best. All the way to the outside here, I'm not sure about that line.
Yeah, I don't like it that much at the moment either, but when you're riding around as good as Connolly, you still seem to make it work at the moment. This is the move that Bud was trying to do a lap ago. Not quite there again, but certainly a lot closer this time around. Can he make this pass on Brock Flynn early, or do we see Haruki Yokoyama try and make a pass on Bud? He's got some great speed, Haruki, accelerating out of that corner from absolutely nowhere.
What a charge from Yokoyama now. For Flynn there in second place, Reese Budd in third, and of course Haruki Yokoyama in fourth. This is a brilliant ride from these three. Fastest lap, Brodie Connolly on lap 2, a 2:01.7.
Just looking down the left-hand side to see where our other big hitters are. Ferguson, 9th place at the moment. I can't see where Kingsford is on that list as well.
13th place.
Yep.
So really, I mean, they did a great job bringing it down to this final moto here at MX Farm. And wow, that was a big hit.
That was just a couple of lines coming together though, but yeah, a big hit there. That was the 196 machine that did get taken down.
Wilson Grenadish.
Yes, it is. Here it is to the inside. Watch this. It was a good run through here by Mather.
Yeah, just a couple of lines coming together, and look, unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about that.
So we haven't seen Norris up there, especially at this pointy end of the field this year. He's been there a few times, 10th, 11th. So he's sitting in 5th and 6th at the moment. I think this is the Haruki crash to the top of the screen, the red bike. Just front wheel stepped up outside of that run.
Yeah, he just tipped it in a little hard, and that rut just gave way, unfortunately.
As we see Barham working to the left-hand side of Norris, dropping down into the right-hander here. He looks for a beautiful sweep in through the AMX rides. Barham moves himself up one more place, up into 10th place at the moment, as Ferguson puts the pressure on the 275 of Travis Olander just there in front of him. So he works through this long left-hander, and that inside line has come to play. We mentioned it early in the day that it was a bit wet, but once it dried out, that will be the favoured line. Ferguson wasting no time there up the inside of Olander.
Very aggressive move there on Olander. Olander doesn't like that. He's trying to pounce back.
Very close up front still between the 88 machine of Brodie Connolly, looking to secure his championship here at the second last round, but Reese Budd is right there wanting to take away just a little bit of that glory that he could by winning the second of these motos. Of course, Connolly does not need to win this one to close out the championship. So I feel if they come close together, Lee, there's not going to be too much of a battle.
Yeah, now I apologise, Danny. That was it was a Honda, but it wasn't Alex Larwood. That was a lapped rider back there. Alex Larwood is 8 seconds back off the rear end of Reese Budd. I thought we had ourselves a three-way battle at the head of the pack about to happen. But how close was that to Reese Budd getting into the lead because of that lapped rider?
Ferguson's been very, very aggressive. Wow.
Great
just
line.
like that. And two of them almost.
That was a brilliant line up the inside there. You almost wonder why someone would go for that second rut.
I saw Ferguson use that last lap around, and that's probably what allowed him to almost make that pass that we saw the last lap, but they got the lapped riders involved in it. Ferguson to the outside, beautiful run around. This is the Ferguson that we expect to see.
Is that the first time we've actually seen someone pass from the outside of that corner? So. The optical illusion corner where it looks like a pass is going to be made. The rider on the inside generally always comes out in first place. And once again now we have Caden Minier all over the back of Brock Flynn. It's just that Noah Ferguson has managed to leapfrog both of them.
As we rejoin our race leader, still only 1.5 seconds back. The other guy, Bud, is relentless.
It is still on at the head of the pack. Reese Budd has not given up the gauntlet yet. He still has dreams of taking a race victory here in this second moto at MX Farm. Brodie Connolly's got bigger things on his mind.
At what point on this lap do you think he is starting to think, yes, we have done it? Do you reckon it's now, or he can't relax? He's got Bud too close. It's probably a good thing that Bud has been there pressuring him.
Yeah, it's taken his mind off. Like I said, you don't want a lonely ride at the head of the pack where you can start stressing out about all kinds of things.
To the inside here of that long sweeping left as they drop down to the bottom of the gully.
Such a good part of the track. The fans have been treated to such a spectacle here. Making his way up towards the higher part of the track. We go from the red dirt up towards the Honda turn, make a left-hander and towards the sand through the roller section.
Into the Michelin left is our race leader, Connolly, the Honda rider. What a performance it's been this year. He has been a class above everyone else, and he's looking like he is about to set himself up for the victory in this race.
Well, Brodie Connolly already has 7 national New Zealand titles to his name and finished 3rd place last year in the MX class of Pro MX. But today, he ticks off a massive goal on board the Polyfloor HRC Honda, your 2024 MX2 champion, Brodie Connolly. What a ride. What a celebration. This is the moment he's been waiting for. Incredible ride. What a job from the entire team. The first championship for 2024 has been handed out.
But the excitement now showing for this rider.
That is just raw emotion. That's what it's all about. The mechanics come in. The celebrations will begin. A valiant effort from Reese Budd. That 2nd place was incredible. It's starting to sink in now for Brodie Connolly. He's realising what he's done. Some great sportsmanship between these two here. We can see the emotion from Yuriv Konski coming in, getting his champagne spray. You know Yuriv wishes that he had the champagne to spray. What an amazing job there for Brodie Connolly. Let's take a look at the Pirelli MX2 results, Moto2. Brodie Connolly with the win, Reese Budd, such a good effort there in 2nd place. Alex Larwood in 3rd, Noah Ferguson in 4th, and Caden Minier in 5th.
Yokoyama, Matho, Kukas, Flynn kept us on a roller coaster with the battle they had. Barham was there also as too. Alander, Kingsford, King, Norris, Cosford was able to continue on. Pretty big, valiant effort for 15th after that hit.
Massive crash it was. Ty Keane, James Scott, Riley Fitzpatrick, all of these riders, an incredible job. Jacob Sweet, Charlie Cannon there made her way back up to 22nd. Luke Heafy there, Curtis King, Campbell Williams back in 25th place after such a strong first moto.
Let's head down to camp.
Gentlemen, he's here in a bit of quiet contemplation. Brody Connolly, get ready for this, mate. You, the Poly4 Honda rider, are the Pirelli MX2 national champion for 2024.
Oh man, I can't believe it. I'm stoked. A little bit lost for words. Can finally relax a bit now. Man, what a fucking...
Like we weren't expecting Yariv Konski to come in there and do something, right?
Yeah, I'm stoked. Massive thanks to my whole team. They've done an incredible job the whole year. Yeah, I can't give it up to them enough. Yeah, I don't have much words, to be honest, mate. I'm fucking stoked.
Congratulations. Obviously, your parents, Renee and Gav, they'd be pretty pumped on this as well, you know. From a junior this big, no doubt to hear, they're part of your story, aren't they?
Yeah, man, they'll be stoked. Mum's here this weekend. Dad's at home watching it on TV. He'll be here next weekend. Yeah, I owe it all to them. You know, they've spent a lot of hours and money on me as I'm younger, and yeah, it's pretty cool to pay them off.
Fantastic, mate. Congratulations. I'm going to say it to you one more time, mate. You are the Pirelli MX2 national champion for 2024. Brody Connolly, congratulations!
Thank you, mate. Thank you. Cheers.
Down here with Alex Larwood. Alex, mate, it's been a tough couple of years for you with shoulder injuries and whatever. We saw some form on the sand earlier this year, but you're here in third place on a track that you probably wouldn't be normally good at, so congratulations, mate.
Yeah, thank you. Definitely was a hard moto, that one, but I fought till the end, and I'm pretty proud of my efforts. I didn't give up, and the first moto wasn't a good one either, so I just put my head down and charged to the end. But massive congrats to the boys and Brody for winning the championship. They're riding real well this year.
Congratulations, Reese Budd in third place. We're going to slip over here now. Going to get past our champion. Reese Budd on the T-Dub Husky, mate. Same for you, mate. You keep trying and trying and trying, and today you were damn close to getting that moto win, but Colin, he just had that little bit more, didn't he?
Yeah, it's certainly been a rough go at it this year, no doubt. There's no hiding it, but to be that close to a race win, you know, I'm sure Brody was in a little bit of championship win mode, so that's understandable, but to be that close is still really good. Super exciting day. Got a baby due very soon. It's just been a rough go, so I'm really happy to be up here.
Well, I can say it for him, face the guys at T-Dub Raceline, Reese Budd. It's an emotional one. It really does it's a testament to what you guys put into this, isn't it?
Oh, no doubt. It's been a rough one, but if anyone can turn it around, it's me. So I got that never die attitude, so I'm just so happy to be here.
Good on you. I'll leave you to it. Danny and Lee, that's back to you.
So a huge box ticked for Brody Connolly and, of course, the Honda HRC race team.
The boys taking it all in. As we said, the raw emotion from our riders to get the positions they did today, and they're about to let the champagne fly. Great to see Larwood back up there. Of course, the Honda boys are going to beat all of them to the punch.
And Reese Budd, the only smart one with some goggles on. I tell you, if you haven't experienced champagne in the eyes before, you don't want to. I think Brody Connolly just got well and truly roosted there. That's Reese Budd just going, that's my revenge from that last race. Have a look at the clouds in the background of the sky at the moment as we take a look at the championship points. MX2, thanks to Pirelli. Brody Connolly with 319 and has wrapped up the championship with one round still to go. Second place, 241 points for Caden Minia. Noah Ferguson in third place.
And Kingsford also not far back. So these minor places in this championship will be sorted out at QMP in just 1 week. Very tight between all of those places. Cannot wait to see how this one unfolds as we continue on with the Pirelli MX2 class at QMP.
Let's take a look. Make sure you pop into your calendars August 18th in just 1 week's time as we head to Queensland Moto Park for the final round of the Penrite Oils ProMX Championships presented by AMX Superstores. You do not want to miss that one. And be sure to lock in September the 7th to the 8th as we head to the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit in Victoria for round 5 of the My Bike Australian Superbike Championship, brought to you by Motul Oils. Well, our first trip to MX Farm has been a good one. Thank you so much for joining us here for round 7 of the Penrite Oils ProMX Championship, brought to you by AMX Superstores. On behalf of Danny Ham, Cam Williams and myself, Lee Hogan, thanks for your company. We'll see you in 1 week's time for the 8th and final round of the championship. Goodbye for now.